So, dudes, I got out of work early today, and I think now is good of a time as I need to explain what the hell's been going on with content. Why is the rate of uploading so low? What do I plan on doing for the next couple of months or maybe even a year? And just give you guys a general update of what the hell I've been up to. A couple months ago, back in the spring, I posted a GoFundMe, something that a couple of friends suggested that I do when I started to describe to them some dynamics of a toxic living situation that I was dealing with. And I'm eager to not go back to that living situation. But it's getting really, really difficult to keep track of where in the world is Gwen Havener. I've gone from here in West Virginia to San Antonio to DC to Northern Virginia to West Virginia again. And I was talking briefly about going out to Portland, and now it seems like the Portland thing also kind of blew up in my face. So what's going on? Am I drama farming? Am I crashing out? So here we go. Let's actually break down the timeline step by step so that it makes sense to you, if you care. So basically, a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity to move out to San Antonio with some business friends to live in the same arrangement with them and collaborate more closely on a variety of content avenues. I met these people through Siege, either in friendly or in business capacities. One of those people is a strategist that I still work with, who I met while I was working with Disrupt Gaming. I don't know if anybody remembers that organization being involved in Siege a long time ago. I left Disrupt right before they got bought out by Astralis, and then Astralis, of course, ended up leaving Siege because esports is a shit show. Not just in Siege, but really just, in general across the board, which isn't to the fault of the players or the staff or the people that really try to make things happen from a competitive perspective. In my observations and estimations, it really just comes down to corporate greed and a lot of short-sighted thinking from people that are just kind of trying to run esports like a casino, like a sports betting ring that they're used to in much more lucrative kinds of business models, but they expect that amount of traffic to just like immediately translate, or those business practices to immediately translate to esports. So that, that sounds like a very left-leaning kind of assessment of a lot of the issues that I have with esports, but, that's just what I feel personally. That aside, it was clear to me that working in a professional capacity through esports-related stuff was not something that was really going to be a lucrative career for me. I was under the impression a long time ago that my college degree and my resume working on this YouTube channel that you're watching right now, as well as my ability to work on a number of different YouTube channels like Couch Co-op, which I started out in San Antonio with my business partner. I was under the impression that all of these things were going to be much more attractive on a resume than they actually turned out to be. And so when shit really hit the fan for the trans community in Texas, and I said, I got to get the hell out of here, I moved back to DC with my mom, and I tried to reinvent myself. I tried to pivot completely into a mission-focused kind of mindset that was something that I inherited in large part to my family's involvement in civic duties, whether that was in the military or whether that was in the federal government. So I spent a lot of time applying for jobs in the federal government. And if you haven't been living under a rock, or at least, take a cursory notice of American politics, you can fill in the blank on how that went. Essentially, this guy won, and then all of my applications that I had in the water, my lines in the water, all just blew up in my face. I got 3 emails from the exact same email address at the exact same time, all saying, "We shit canned your application, GG, get fucked." So that really just kind of put a couple months worth of dedicated planning and dedicated workshopping and networking and practicing and interviews completely blown up in my face. Like, that just completely wasted my time. And rather frustratingly, I'm not in a position to go back full-time on YouTube again. YouTube is not something that you can walk away from for an extended period of time and then just try to hop back into it just like that. It takes a significant amount of time to get a dead channel going again. It's not to say that I can't, make some money. I can make enough money to pay a car payment. I can make enough money to pay a car payment plus my water bill and my electric bill and maybe my internet bill. I can make enough money to pay a lot of things. I just can't make enough money to pay all the things that I need right now. And, frustratingly, I kind of had to look inward and think very seriously about what the hell I wanted out of a career, what the hell I wanted out of my life, and how can I start making money again as efficiently as possible. To make matters even more frustrating, due to this period of time where I haven't been employed and I've needed to pay things like a car payment and car insurance and health insurance and medication and this and that, I've accumulated a shit ton of credit card debt, which the GoFundMe that I ran a couple of months helped me out with. I'm not going to take anything away from that. It certainly made my credit score a lot better. But at the end of the day, I still had to end up leaning back on the credit card that I paid off because I was still unemployed, after that GoFundMe came in. Don't get me wrong, I'm in a much better position now because of that GoFundMe than I used to be, but it's not exactly where I need to be. And in addition to the credit card debt, I'm also in a ton of IRS debt because I've spent the last year and a half basically just like chasing my tail, trying to figure out where my next, financial kind of bedrock is. And I haven't been able to take any withholdings out from my taxes without just being completely and utterly destitute, which has happened multiple times. I've just ended up looking at my checking account and seeing like $5 in it at times. And then I automatically have a car insurance payment that is coming in and I have to immediately find a way to lend money from a friend or bum money off of my mom. Or the truth of the matter is, and to relate it to the P word a little bit, to politics, the reason that a lot of people are really upset right now and seem to be ready to get angry about anything at a moment's notice is because a lot of people are fucking struggling right now. If you're below a certain income threshold right now in this country, if you are going out of pocket for XYZ amount of things, if a certain percentage of your paycheck is getting allocated to whatever, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're in a very fucking frustrating position right now. Things keep getting more expensive. Things that I never fucking thought of to actually like strategically allocate in my brain as like a strategic expense have suddenly just skyrocketed twice as much in price as I remember like 10 years ago. I needed a shower curtain. I moved into this place that I purchased, this townhome that I'm in relatively recently, and it was completely unfurnished. And I needed like a shower curtain, and I needed a shower rod because we don't have a shower rod like built into the wall. I have to like mount a tension rod or get a more permanent kind of installation. And to get a shower rod that isn't going to fall over every 5 seconds, that's like $40. And then the liner is like $20. And then a curtain on top of that is another $20. And I need cleaning supplies. So getting all the cleaning supplies that I need, a month's worth of cleaning supplies is like $150, right? For disinfectant wipes, for dish soap, for laundry soap, for fucking like after a while, like it really, I used to feel bad, whenever I didn't make 2,500 flat just off of YouTube AdSense because I thought that I was, I was panicking. I was struggling to go from one thing to the next. I was always trying to, keep the YouTube kind of like head above water and eat what I could kill with advertising money from sponsors, all those, those Keeps sponsorships really kind of kept the ship afloat for a couple of years there. I used to feel, very self-conscious and kind of guilty about that. Like I was a fraud, like I was a fuck up, that I wasn't good enough to be, in this and competing with these guys that were making like 5,000, 10,000 a month. I would look at that 2,500 in my YouTube AdSense and think that's below the median salary right now. I'm not even making the median salary. What the fuck am I doing wasting my time making YouTube videos? This ship is going into port. This is a waste of time. And as it turns out, most of the people that I knew in college, and these weren't people that wasted their time getting bullshit degrees in college, okay? Some of them got the kinds of like conservative coded, like smart degrees that weren't like lib and dumb. Like these are guys who got like economics degrees. These are people who were trying to do the right thing, right? They were trying to put aside their passions to pursue something that they thought was like more STEM adjacent. And they're working 12 an hour, 13 an hour jobs right now. I know one guy who's managed to, after busting his ass, God bless him, he managed to smartly make a pivot into the trades, leveraging his IT work with working as an electrician. And that's really, really been successful for him. But, it's really, really tough to be able to kind of pull off that nuance, right? To be able to pull off that switch on the railroad track, because if you spend time trying to go to school in addition to the job that you're working, anytime that you're not spending working, anytime that you're spending not getting wage hours, is time that you aren't getting wage money to allocate to personal expenses that you need. So a lot of people, even if they fucking wanted to, even if they smartly look at this and go, wow, I guess, the trades are really the way to go right now, because that's, the last thing that is ever going to give out under late stage capitalism. You can't even do that, right? You can't even allocate time to do the not dumb woke thing and try to set yourself up for success. You pretty much have to make that decision while you're living with your parents. And God forbid if you make a mistake when you're like 16 with the career choice that you wanted to do. I can't do anything about the fact that the 18 to 25 male demographic is getting radicalized in record speed by the slop-tainment industrial complex. That's something that I can't really fucking compete with. But what I can do is stake out a place for myself and stake out a place for my community. And I had this realization due to a certain cat girl on Twitter that you guys may have seen if you're on Twitter at any point in time. And that's Riley. Riley had a viral clip because she was shitting on kids in the Battlefield beta, and the chuds could not fucking stand it. All the conservadorks with their fucking Warhammer 40k VTuber ass fucking gunlarp fucking bullshit, right? They crashed out hard. They crashed out so fucking hard on Riley because they were mad that she was good at the video game. Asmongold, of course, got his filthy fucking mandibles up in it. But what it really ended up doing was create a Streisand effect for Riley and really kind of help, rocket launch her Twitch career, right? Because she ended up getting a ton of Twitch followage as a result of this. And when I stepped in there to kind of, say what I wanted to say, it turns out that Riley watched my Siege content back in the day. And while I was in this, this Twitter sphere kind of yappage going on, I got a ton of followers from other T-girl gamers that, were adjacent to these kinds of social circles. And it really started to dawn on me, like, I am not as small as I think I am or as I feel. If I look at my bank account and I constantly I constantly have a bad habit of just comparing myself to like where other people are in terms of, where I'm at with like subscriber count, where I'm at with my monthly income and this and that. If I take a step away from the fucking numbers and just think clearly about what I've done, not a lot of people can say that they have a YouTube channel in excess of 300,000 subscribers. Not a lot of people can say that they have a monthly followage and viewage of millions of views at a time. Not a lot of people can say that. I have a lot to be proud of, and I have a lot of evidence that I am a good content creator, and that if I really put my mind to it, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can do whatever kind of content I want. And if this isn't the place where I need to be, it doesn't have to be. And that's not to say that I'm quitting. I'm not quitting Siege content. This channel is still around. It's just not something that I can really dedicate a full, well, I obviously can't dedicate a full fucking 9 to 5 to it because I'm working a 9 to 5 as it is. But it's not something that I can, upload like 5 videos a week on, for instance. I think I can upload 2 really, really good involved, produced videos on it a month. But what I really want to do is get involved in variety content. I really want to put my hat in the ring, and I really want to try my hardest to make the kind of content that I know that I can make. And not only the kind of content I know that I make, but the kind of content that I know will do well. The kind of content that I know will fucking pop off. And more importantly, make me some decent fucking money. Rather than look at the situation as the sum of aspects where it's fallen off or where I'm not happy with how things have gone, I'm looking at this, I'm starting to understand that I have 10 years of experience running YouTube channels. I have 10 years of experience writing copy, recording voiceovers, working on thumbnails, ideation, titling, marketing approaches. I have 10 years of experience making YouTube videos. And it's not like I haven't gone into other avenues and just made like dog shit, you know? I've uploaded videos completely from scratch that have managed to become relatively decent hits. Some of them have, you know, blown out into pretty decent proportions. Others have blown out into unbelievable proportions. I've started a new channel and managed to get hundreds of thousands of views across multiple videos back to back to back. And that's because I'm a good fucking content creator. I'm a good artist. I'm not nearly as good of an artist as I'd like to be. I can't draw for shit. I can't play a musical instrument for shit. And you know, sometimes I wonder what I'm really good at, but I know that I'm good at making YouTube videos. I know that I'm a good writer. I know that I'm a good listener, and I know that I'm good at synthesizing information and making it into something that not only is easy to understand, but is also entertaining. And I also have a breadth of experience across a wide range of games and a breadth of experience from my own personal background growing up south of the Mason-Dixon line in a pretty conservative environment and learning to fucking like de-radicalize myself, which is not something that was easy to do. It took me a considerable amount of time and a considerable amount of self-awareness and self-criticism that I wasn't ready to do multiple points throughout my life, and there are still components of it that are difficult for me to do. There are avenues of my life that I thought were going to go in different directions. At one point, when I got out of college, I was getting ready to join the Navy. I was on the phone with somebody getting ready to fly me out to Charleston, South Carolina to go to nuke school, which, you know, as it turns out, trans women can be interested in nuclear submarines. They looked at my results for my appendicitis that I had when I was in middle school, and they basically ghosted me. They spent like a year fucking around with my paperwork, and then I got an email from the recruiter, and he said, "Hey, so we got to redo all your paperwork all over again." You know, this was a year of me doing this shit, and I got the message, you know, at that point, and I was just like, no, I need a fucking job, dude. I'm sorry. As it turns out, you know, if I had discovered the things that I discovered about myself later on, I would have gotten kicked out by the fascist administration in charge right now. So yeah, it's time for me to stop getting in my own way, and also stop letting my ADHD fucking like constantly redirect me into a million different directions and never really keep me on a clear trajectory, keep me on a clear path of what I want to do, because the perfect opportunity is never going to come. The perfect moment at which I'm going to start this variety content thing and really, really try to make it work. And, I need I need more time. I need more this. I need more equipment. Like, that's never going to happen, right? The only way to get into that position is to take a little bit of time out of the day, aside from work, aside from what I'm doing here on Gwen, and really just try to make a go at it. So the current plan, if you guys are interested, right, you can go ahead and subscribe to that channel. I'll leave a link in the description to Gwen posting. The current plan is to post a video about Battlefield. It's to post a dedicated Battlefield review within a couple of weeks of the dedicated release. And that's going to be around sometime in October. I should probably learn the exact date on which the game that I want to review is coming out. But I know it's on October 10th. That game's going to come out October 10th, and I'm going to make a lengthy review about it. And it's not going to be like some bullshit kind of like yap, like me commentating. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that kind of content, right? I'm just saying it's going to be a laborious endeavor. It's going to be an actual video. It's going to be an involved, edited YouTube video. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be one that I know is good. and there's going to be more to follow after that. How I want to get paid on that channel, that kind of depends. It depends on how well that particular video does. I'm considering going down a completely crowdfunded route to get away from the YouTube slop algorithm and just, make sure that I'm not like completely contingent on that for income. I've considered totally crowdfunding it through something like Buy Me a Coffee. Basically running off of a patronage sort of monetization model where the content is directly influenced by viewer support in certain capacities. There's plenty of YouTubers that have kind of managed to make this work. One of my favorite guys that has really done a decent go at this is a YouTuber named Ryan Chapman, who does a lot of political YouTube videos, which I know that like some more left-leaning people in my audience are probably gonna go to this guy's channel and think that he's like a shit lib, and I honestly don't know if he is a shit lib or not. But even if he is a shit lib, I still have shit libisms that I am guilty of, that I hope people don't get too mad at me about. He does really, really good content though, and he's a good example of the kind of, upload a truth nuke like once a month kind of content that I would like to start making. If you watched this video the whole way through, or just listened to it while you were doing chores or something, or cooking dinner, I sincerely appreciate it. You guys really, really mean a lot to me. I'm really happy that this channel is still standing despite all the bullshit that I've gone through, which is, lengthy to describe, as you can tell, because this video has already gone over 20 minutes and I thought it was going to be like 10 or 15 minutes. This is not something that I'm walking away from completely, but I just have to be strategic, smart, and efficient with the usage of my time in terms of how I approach it. And I hate to leave people in the dark. I really, really want to be fully transparent, and I want to establish a two-way kind of communication street with my audience and let them know, like, hey, I feel kind of shitty that I haven't really been able to upload much. I know that I've promised a lot of things and I haven't been able to deliver on deadlines, and I have a stream scheduled on Twitch that's just a healthy suggestion and not something that I've really, really done a good job to follow. Speaking of which, while I remember it, speaking of ADHD, I'm going to outline my new stream schedule right here, just so that everybody is aware of it. The new schedule is Saturday, Sunday, Monday at 5:30. Throughout the weekday, those are my work days, right? I work on a Tuesday through Saturday, not a Monday through Friday. And sometimes I get out late depending on how late the store closes. So really, it kind of comes down to the day by day. In retail work, depending on how slow or how active the store is, I don't really know when I'm going to get out of work. So as a result of that, the concrete dates that I can definitely guarantee are the ones that I just listed. But the best way to know whether or not you guys get a free stream, whether you guys get a complimentary stream because I have time to do it, is to follow me on the Hell app, is to follow me on Hell at... You ever just laugh at your own jokes? Is to follow me on Twitter. I will be posting there. And if you don't want to follow me on Hell app and support Hell app's platform, which I don't blame you for, you can also follow me on Blue Sky. So I will be posting stream announcements on Twitter and on Blue Sky, and I'll also probably be bitching about politics from time to time as well. That's all I got. I'm gonna go hit the gym. I'm working on being able to do a pull-up again. I've gained a lot out of this transition, but the one thing I've lost is pull-ups. So we're gonna get that rectified. My deadlifts are still on point though. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Deuces.